Let's welcome in the Powerhouse panel on this Wednesday morning. We've got attorney, Republican strategist, and Turning Point USA contributor Aaron Elmore with us. Political analyst Mark Halperin is here, and Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps is joining us as well. Good morning to all. I've got some very good news here, Mark Halperin, in case you had any questions about what Kamala Harris, our vice president, eats for breakfast. Take a listen.
Was there a point in your career where you realized maybe you had a longer runway than you ever thought?
No, I mean, no. I listen, like I, again, tell a lot of people I mentor, I eat no for breakfast. So have I been told many times during my career things from, oh, you're too young, it's not your turn, they're not ready for you, no one like you has done it before. I've heard all of those things many times over the course of my career, but I didn't listen.
All right, one thing, Mark, she's got to be hungry for the rest of the day. I mean, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I think as our vice president, you should be setting an example for the rest of the country about this very important topic.
I recommend Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. You get many of the food groups just in that one bowl.
Yeah, I did overnight oats this morning. I don't have to eat again until noon. But Aaron, seriously, so this was an interview on MSNBC with a new thing that Forbes is now doing. Kamala Harris also featured on the cover. The top 50 women in the country over 50 years old. And I thought the line was good because Kamala Harris has said no to a lot. She has said no to going to the border. Today marks 70 days. She hasn't held a press conference on the border. She hasn't gone to the border. And I'm starting to notice a pattern when it comes to our vice president. Do you think that she is not taking policy positions on these big issues, like the border, for example, because she doesn't want to be on the record when it is time for her to become president, whether that's between now and 2024 or in 2024?
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Rob. And basically, as you know, I've said on the show before, I have friends in Secret Service that have said August is when they're going to start transitioning Joe Biden out and transitioning Kamala in. So that is coming up pretty quickly here. Now, I don't have this as fact, but I have this on sort of insider political fodder. But having said that, eating no for breakfast, it's certainly not intermittent fasting, but she should really start having some accountability. But to your point, I think she's preferring to sit back, relax, wait, let Joe be responsible for all of these bad decisions and sort of come in with her cape whenever the time is right and sort of be the first female president here to save the day. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Aaron, let me just make sure I got that right there. So you have a friend in the Secret Service who has told you that they are expecting President Joe Biden to step aside, to resign, to step down by, it's June right now. You said by August?
They expect a transition starting in August. So that's when the things are going to start moving into places where Kamala takes over and Joe sort of takes a back seat. That's what I've heard. It is not fact-based. This is just opinion-based, but these people are on the inside. And when I've asked other insiders, they have confirmed that information.
Yeah, it's not fact-based until it actually happens. Mark, have you heard anything like that?
I haven't heard exactly that. And although I try not to bet on politics, Aaron, I'll bet you $40 that doesn't happen.
Well, hold on. We got to clear up the
bet. I'm just here to tell you what I heard.
Hold on. We have to clear up the bet, though. It's not by August, but just that process would begin. I mean, quite frankly, I think it began in January. But you're saying the process could begin in August, and then it would take some time, and maybe that is something that happens.
We're going to start to see. I mean, listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just relaying information. This isn't about betting. This isn't about winning. This isn't about being correct. I'm just relaying the information that I was told by people who are around the president every day. And you know who else? I'm sorry to take up so much time here. I know people at La Diplomat restaurant in D.C., and the president was there this weekend, and they said he could barely get out his order. He mumbled, pancakes. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here.
He was there Monday, I believe. Mark, quick reaction?
I just need the $40, Aaron. I'm not trying to have a fight with you.
Yeah, no, we have to wait till August for that, Mark.
Look, I do think you look at the assignment she's being given and all these conversations she's been having unilateral with foreign leaders. It would be irresponsible for them not to prepare her, given the president's age, to be able to take over.
Well, that's optimistic.
Right now, there are a lot of people in the White House who feel she's not prepared to take over.
And Mark, 80 million people voted for this guy, apparently, in November. And do you think they were voting for Kamala Harris, somebody who couldn't win her own state?
No doubt they weren't. And look, any vice president is a heartbeat away, and any vice president needs to be ready. We've had vice presidents, I think, more prepared than Kamala Harris to take over, and some less prepared. But like I said, there are people in Democratic politics, including close to the president, who don't believe she's currently prepared, and they're trying to address that.
You make a good point, Chris. I want to play you a soundbite. Joe Biden yesterday, speaking in Oklahoma, said that he wants to put more on the vice president's plate. He can do that because she didn't eat a breakfast, so she's got plenty of room on her plate. Take a listen.
Earlier this year, the House of Representatives passed For the People Act to protect our democracy. The Senate will take it up later this month, and I'm going to fight like heck with every tool at my disposal for its passage. The House is also working on the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which is critical to providing new legal tools to combat the new assault on the right to vote. To signify the importance of our efforts, today I'm asking Vice President Harris to help these efforts and lead them among her many other responsibilities.
Whoa, Chris, what'd you make of that?
I think the vice president is living in a fantasy land if she thinks that she can sit on the sidelines and divorce herself from this administration. Look, Walter Mondale was shellacked by Ronald Reagan in 1984 because he was Jimmy Carter's vice president. George H.W. Bush became president because a lot of people felt that he was going to be Ronald Reagan's third term. And the reason that Joe Biden was the front runner in 2020 was because he was Barack Obama's vice president. So this strategy of standing off to the side and not really engaging when what the president asks you to do is, I don't think it's a good long-term strategy. And I agree with Mark. I don't think that she is prepared to take over. And it's obvious to me that's why they don't put her out front in front of cameras.
I like that, Chris. Mark, what did Grover Cleveland do?
Are you asking me?
No, I was asking Mark.
Oh, okay.
her biggest problem historically has been she's way too cautious.
Yeah.
She's way too cautious. She doesn't like making decisions. And part of why you don't see her dealing with the border in a hands-on way, part of why you see her saying the kind of things she says in interviews is she never likes to take a controversial position. And that just doesn't pay in politics. And it's why her presidential campaign was not successful.
And she didn't take, I don't want to spend too much more time on this. She didn't field a single challenging question during that entire sit-down interview. You've got the vice president there. Like, stop being, be a journalist. Like, you don't have to, I know she's your friend and you guys want to go to, garden parties together in Georgetown, but like, ask her, say, listen, you haven't told the American people what your strategy is in the border. What is your strategy when it comes to the border? Like, not, and by the way, that's the world we live in where that would qualify as a tough question.
These questions that are being asked of both the president and the vice president are either about food or fashion. If I want to talk about those things, I will talk about them with my girlfriends at a garden party.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear them from the vice president of the United States. Let's get some meat and some potatoes on these bones here.
Yeah. By the way,
let's talk about substantive issues.
Agree. Mark, go ahead. Grover Cleveland.
You know what she gets? You know what she gets off the buffet at the garden parties in Georgetown?
No, Mark, I don't.
A bunch of no's.
Oh, yeah, because she doesn't have breakfast. I wonder if she has lunch. She's going to be starving by the time lunch rolls around. But by the way, nothing against garden parties. I'm all for garden parties.
I'm all for it.
Grover Cleveland was president. I think he was the 22nd president, was a four-year president. Then I think he became a senator, and then he was the 24th president, right?
Only one to do it.
Could be two. Could be two, 2024. Who knows? Who knows? All right. We don't have a ton of time. You guys are back after the break. How much time do we have in the back, by the way? 2 minutes. All right, we got plenty of time. Expect the Unexpected here on Wake Up America. It is a book that is going to be coming out. It's called Expect the Unexpected, Lessons on Truth, Service, and the Way Forward. It's out November 2nd. You can pre-order it now. It's 80 pages long. It's $18. My question, Chris, we'll start with you, is Dr. Fauci, who wrote this book, is he putting his mask on or taking it off?
That's a good question. This is a man who told us that we don't have to wear masks and we should wear masks. You should wear 2 or 3 masks. We find out now that his agency was indirectly funding the Wuhan lab. So I think the timing of this book may be a little bit off, and you should probably talk to Cuomo about maybe writing these type of books after the pandemic is over or after you leave government service.
Well, we know Mario wouldn't have written that book. Aaron, right now, Chris brought up a good point. We're learning more about Fauci's possible ties to the gain-of-function research in that Wuhan lab where this virus might have been born. We know that the money was given to the lab. Dr. Fauci says it was not for gain-of-function research, but I thought it was great during those Senate hearings. Senator Kennedy said, well, how do you know? Couldn't they have just lied to you and used it for gain-of-function? And he was like, I suppose so.
Right. We've seen Senator Kennedy and several others, Rand Paul, really holding his feet to the fire when no one else will, because everyone else just sees him as this anointed, great all-knowing doctor when I'm not even sure he's ever written a peer-reviewed medical journal article. All he is a career bureaucrat. And by the way, don't buy his book. Save yourself the money. This is the only book you need. The Constitution of the United States.
Ooh.
That's freedom,
Amen.
baby.
It's a page turner. Mark, final thought, by the way. I just think this is Fauci's attempt to stay in the spotlight. What do you think?
80 pages is a booklet, not a book. And I hope Erin doesn't give away the ending to that book she held up.
The ending hasn't been written yet, Mark.
Keep the suspense going.
Yes. All right.
I look, he better come on this show during his book tour.
I
It's not a
invite
booklet
Dr.
tour unless
Fauci
he's
every
on this
day.
first-
He does not want to
I
come
know.
on. I think,
But he's never been on a booklet tour before.
No, booklet tours are different. You don't get as much time for a booklet tour. All right,
A
panel.
pamphlet.
Yes, I think it is a pamphlet technically.